What is good, Southside family? I wanted to, I know I didn't come with the same energy I always do, but this is more of a serious topic than anything else. I wanted to basically talk about independent labels versus major labels, because I've seen a lot of artists, a lot of the upcoming people, artists and stuff like that. They talk about how they want to be signed to these major labels and stuff like that because they see their favorite artists out there, but they're not happy. Honestly, they're not happy. So we're gonna just break it down a little bit. I was gonna post this just on Instagram and such, but we're gonna just get right into the nifty of it. Alright, so pros and cons. Alright, so pros of being a part of major labels. Yes, you get resources. Yes, you get a cash investment, which is basically like a loan. So when you hear people say, "Oh, I got signed for $1 million," that is basically a label loaning you about $1 million, not including how much you got to pay back for interest. And then third, the connections that the label has, the major labels have. That's all good and dandy, but they don't tell you what's behind all the fine print. Like when you sign that contract and you don't pay attention to all the fancy little words that they talk about, you can sign your life over. You can ask Blueface. You see a couple of videos where he talk about his contract. Megan Thee Stallion, Rich the Kid, the Migos. Basically, when you sign that contract and you don't pay attention to, what you say you want your masters, that's the most important thing you want to keep is your masters. Because if you don't control your masters, any music that you put out, all the hard work that you put out, all the things that took time and effort to put out, you don't own that. That label, that major label owns that. They keep whatever that contract was set, like distribution and stuff like that, because some contracts, they put a distribution cost in each one, so every time you will say you post a song, you're paying literally like 60% of either 60 to 80% of the money, that you could have made and put in your pocket. Well, I ain't gonna say put in your pocket, but you understand what I'm talking about. It's going towards that label. They're profiting more off of you than you are profiting off of yourself. And another thing is, with those major labels, you're not working with them to help build your career. You're more like they running your career, because now you have a bunch of songs that you want to put out that you made, but you can't put it out because they say no. They say no because they know, one, as long as they can keep you under contract, because certain a lot of contracts are, either so many songs or an album, or each contract kind of varies, and so sometimes you can buy out your contract, like Tory Lanez did, and you could be free from it, so the label's not profiting off of you. So now what they do is they sign you for 3-year, 2-album deal. Alright, so that means, so now, you are going to get the resources to make those albums and stuff like that, but you're paying for everything, literally, in a sense, because, alright, check this out. So say you dropped a song, you made $50,000 from that song. In return, what you making personally, you're making probably 20 versus that total 50 you could have made. Or in a realistic sense, say if it's 50, you probably get like 20. Yeah, maybe around 20. They take that big old chunk, and then on top of the other type of fees that got going on, so you could be making like 15. You see that, like that, how that chunk broke down because of those major labels take a big portion because that's how they run their labels off of lending you money and access to stuff that you still have to pay for, but they also help you with distribution, which you can do your own distribution, by the way. So check this out. So we talked about the cons and the pros of the major labels. All right. So you don't work with them; they basically work you. They basically business owner. They basically like run you. Now with independent labels, now I'm not gonna say every independent label is any good because like my grandfather, or not my grandfather, my dad, goddamn, my dad, he owns his own label, and I seen how he runs it and stuff, and it's not appealing at all because first, a good independent label is always gonna have a digital footprint, which is basically a digital presence like social media. You see them actively getting their artists engaged and stuff, putting their artists out there and stuff like that. Two, you seeing that, so while they're having the social media, you see that their artist is actually, doing things to better themselves. Like let's use what his name is, Baby Youngin, I think his name is, or Youngin Baby or something like that. I think it's Baby Youngin. But like he's an up and coming artist too, and I've seen how his management is working, his team is working. And if you ever go look him up, he made like a song called Soldier. That's a beast, by the way. You see how you can go to their social media stuff and see how their digital footprint is basically bringing him up and showing everybody, this is what are they doing with their, for their artists. They're not just making money off of their artists. They actually providing their artists different types of luxuries coming up, like other artists with, like major artists would, be involved with and stuff like that. And he got to go on tour with Ride Wave. Come on now. Still building connections. Even though it's a small label, they don't have many connections. They can still get you those connections. It just takes time, and patience. And a lot of independent labels say some of them won't have those big luxury advances, so you wouldn't be getting like a $1 million sign for $1 million, a sign for like $500,000 and all that. Sometimes they, if the label's not funded all the way, they may get you a cash advancements, kinda. With cash advancement, like not cash advancements, signing bonuses. So with signing bonuses, they basically, so now they're not lending you the money that you have to pay back. They're now giving you money just for you to sign with them and to work with them for a mutual benefit, because you're an up and coming artist. You need to focus on your music and stuff. The label needs experience as far as running the artist and distribution. And you let them handle the distribution while you work on your craft. You're creative. That's all free to you, or whatever y'all putting together. And also with the independent labels, you can also work with them. Like when you sit at that table or that email or call or whatever, and y'all talk about the contract, because you're always gonna have a contract. It just depends on what type of contract it is. There's many forms, shape, and forms. There's other YouTube videos that people put out. You can go and look. It's just basically a discussion video. Let's talk about a video. So you can sit down with them and talk about, hey, I need such and such, and can you provide such and such for me, and come up with a mutual beneficial contract for both of y'all. And 9 times out of 10, the independent label is not gonna, I'm not gonna say 9 times out of 10, it's more like a 50. They probably wouldn't go after your masters, especially in your creative. So you have full creative and master over your your music. So they'll probably come out with like maybe a few charges, like the distribution, and maybe like you know, per stream is like say 1,000 streams is like 100 or something. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't know that far. I'm just basically off of what I've seen and my knowledge that I know of, because I am going to school right now to run my own label. I want to have my own music label. I'm probably put it in New Orleans somewhere, but on another subject. That's for another video. So another thing about the cons of I've talked about the pros of the independent labels. So let's talk about the cons. So let's go more in depth on the cons, because I said a few of them in the video. So like I said, you won't have a crazy sign-in bonus or any crazy sign-in bonus. I've seen some people get signed for like 5,000. I've seen people get signed for 1,000. Just to get somewhere. But that doesn't mean you should always sign any contract. Sign anybody you could. You want to always make sure that they have potential and stuff like that. All right. So another con would be, like I said before earlier, connections. So with an independent label who's still trying to prove itself, it's gonna be some ups and downs, and because it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort and it takes a team to come together to run social media, H&R. You got touring. You gotta get your touring manager together, stuff together, your merchandising, and like I said, there's a lot of different things to go on. Especially if it's like, say, one person running a label or two. There's a lot of different things going on. So you gotta learn how to be patient. And that's another thing, because I know a lot of people are ready to blow up and be the next biggest thing and stuff like that. Nah, you gotta be patient. And why have I dislike on the video? But that's basically for this discussion of let's talk about it. If you wanna, if you ever want to talk, discuss more about the subject and stuff like that, you can always comment on the bottom of the video. This is basically a new series called Let's Talk About It, where we just have open discussions on the channel. So make sure you leave a like on the video, and we can continue discussing more topics about major labels versus independent label, and why you should sign with an independent label versus a major label. So, like I said, I know there's also, and before I sign off, there is a lot of people who say they'd rather be independent artists. And it's a good thing to be independent and run your own stuff, but sometimes if you want to avoid those headaches and you don't have a good solid team, independent labels are the way to go. Don't try to force yourself to handle situations that you're not accustomed to, because there's a lot of dark things in the music industry that will try to take advantage of you. A lot of things. So on that note, let's talk about it.